let's move over. So what's your focus process?
So focus process, one piece flow.
Okay. And what's your challenge?
Have a system in place in a form that supports one piece flow start to finish that is easily understands and follow by July 1st.
Okay, and what's your target?
Clearly define standard work for one piece flow of cutting foam on host machines.
And then where are you currently at?
Have no clearly defined standard work for one piece flow at the host machines using the scan QR code and dashboard for current status, using the ring toss as a pulse signal for the host machine and wrapping. Team not follow one piece flow at the host machine.
Okay. So then what was your last step?
Okay.
I moved that up to the top.
Oh, okay. Suppose because it's on top. Okay.
Yeah,
it's like we're looking for it.
The latest one will always be at the top.
Gotcha. So run an experiment with option number 1 for one piece flow on host machines.
Okay, what did you expect?
I expect to eliminate the host machine buffer rack, some weighting of the part not ready for wrapping, scan QR code 2 times instead of 4 times, no overproduce, may not help the core sequence for proceeding.
So on the machine buffer rack, is that the buffer between cutting and machining, or between machining and wrapping?
The first card between cutting the planks and machining, and the other cards between machining and wrapping.
Okay, I'm just saying, it just says that you expected to eliminate host machine buffer rack.
Yes, correct.
So what you were saying is you were looking at eliminating both of them?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I didn't put. Sorry, I did not put the other ones. You're right. I should add.
Yeah, no, that's where I was like going. Okay, or are we just talking about the cutting one, or?
Yeah.
So
no,
gotcha.
I was writing down for the other one. That's what I said.
No worries.
Stick in my mind. What happens?
Then what happened?
I did run 3 different parts a few times. Every part has different method to complete it. What I mean, a regular part, one part you have to cut in the machine. After that, go into the bandsaw to cut it, and after that, go to wrapping. And another part, that seat band, you have to cut it 2 times in the machines, right? So 3 different methods. I try them out. I got feedback from operators, and I did walk.
Who was the operator?
Rowena.
Okay.
And I did walk what the experiment with Chris for each method after I done.
And then what did you learn?
So what I learned, so I want to show you first. That's the 3 parts I ran to it, and that's the flow of the parts from start to finish. So as printing, scanning, cut the blanks with the time, loading the machine, and the red one did the waiting time, and go into the bandsaw, go into wrapping, go into the part mark, and QC, and after that, deliver to QC stations. That the boot time was 15 minutes. Sorry.
Oh no, I'm just okay. Oh, never mind. I was reading it wrong. Okay, I see. There are, for some reason I was looking at it and it seemed like they were all 3 the same part, but no, they're not. So
yeah, 3 different parts. And so the boot time, I know whenever I evaluate the boot time, for the stuff, but the boot time was 15 minutes, and this one the actual 9 minutes, including the waiting time. I done the lower back, and the same thing, and this one is just a regular part, and the waiting time was 1 minute. Boot time 17, the actual 10-minute. The seat band, we had to wait 2 times in the middle because you have to fill up the parts for the dash band. And the boot time was 22 minutes, an actual 21 minutes, even including the wrapping, the waiting time.
So what was the 12? What's the 12 minutes of waiting? Is that while it's cutting?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Is that the one out of Ethafoam?
No. It's the seat band. The one has the dash or.
Oh, where it's got the concave on the inner side.
Correct. Yeah, that one's. Because I know this one we're doing a lot of it.
Yeah. Okay.
So what I learned, so yeah, I attached the parts number with the boot time and actuals, including waiting time. I'd like to write it down as a chart so you can see the times and how the flow went. So I did eliminate the buffer rack for the Haas machines, and I did eliminate the buffer rack for the wrapping machine. Don't have to use the ring toss for the Haas machine or the buffer or for wrapping buffer. A lot of emotions because the stations not next to each other, so we have to walk a lot to the bandsaw, to the stations. Operator waiting the machines until the part done. Print 1 tag per part instead of 1 tag for 5 parts. So when we start the experiment, I had to print each part, print a tag for each part, so make sure the tag travels with the flow all the way to QC. We receive into the system, and now Chris brought this one up and it was a good point. So we'll receive into the system every part instead of 1 tag for 5 parts. And lack of visibility of the flow line. I had a conversation with this part for receiving, and Chris, I asked him how long it take to receive the tag, and he said 20 seconds. So I said, if you're having 100 parts or 180, the maximum that would be almost 3 to 4 hours receiving a day. And I said the rest of the time would be QC.
Oh, I see. The receiving's just putting it in the computer.
Yes, correct. It's just receiving the tag to the computer. Gotcha. Sometimes the maximum in the tag we usually do 5. But if we need to do 1 piece flow, the best thing too, I didn't know if I did not write it down here. I forgot to write it down. And the sequence of the buffer rack for the crew seating, the part you will never, you have to deliver the part on time. And what I mean on time, I mean because there is no buffer, there is nothing, there is no confusing. One part goes before the other. So you get a load cart by cart till you get it done.
Gotcha.
That was totally the opposite what I expected.
Cool. Okay. Let me see here.
You learned a lot of that once. That was a very cool experiment. I ran it.
Good. Okay. So then if you were attacking if the obstacle is that you don't know how to run one piece flow start to finish on the Haas machine, it looks like you run an experiment with one option. So is the obstacle still keeping you from the target condition?
Yes, still.
Yeah.
So the next experiment, I would like to run an experiment with the option number 2 for 1 piece flow and a Haas machine.
Okay. No,
and
cool.
What I expect to the same thing. will be eliminating the host machines and the buffer rack and wrapping. And I'm sure that stuff will be helping be very easy for people to understand, like no more confusion about ring toss or moving parts.
Right.
No waiting time of the part um, is not ready for wrapping. So will be no waiting part, I'm sure. And the part scan QR code times 2 or 4 times.
Sure.
Would be no overproduce. Would be no will be less motion for sure, because that
Okay.
would be a 2-person flow. And I think that will do the same thing. Will be helping the sequence for the crew seating for buffer cards. So the first option was I was struggling with the waiting time for the machines when you're running one post flow, but for that option, uh, I'm sure that will be killing all the waiting time, because we'll have 2 people and the first person will say, hey, I will help wrapping if needed, and the second person in the flow will be help loading the machines as needed. So
I gotcha.
cutting the planks, doing the
Yeah.
machines.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to. So that's what you expect to happen.
Yes.
Okay. Kind of wondering, kind of a side deal. So when you're talking about this option 1 that you did, oh, the experiment record. Where'd the other picture go? Oh, never mind. There's 2 in there. That's right. Well, that's what happened to the picture that you just had. Oh, never mind. I got it.
For the option number 1 or 2?
So option number 1. If you have 25 parts as a spare on cart number 6, how do you see that playing out?
I will say you're talking about the quantity is getting like a lot of quantity for 1 cart.
Yeah, I mean, I guess way I think about it is that if I'm looking at this first part number, the 1-1, it's like 35 seconds to print, another minute to cut. So if in this scenario, you for the most part and for most parts you would need the total. So is the same person wrapping also?
Yes.
In the first scenario.
Correct.
And the second scenario, you're having a wrapper.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because I was trying to look at this and say, okay, well, your maximum throughput on this part based on 1 person doing this, you would have 5 minutes 46 seconds, 6 minutes 46 seconds, 7 minutes 46 seconds. So your throughput from start to finish is about 8 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have 1 person doing it, your maximum throughput is
60 per hour.
7:56. Yeah. So 7 per hour.
Yes.
Okay.
But if you want to increase this throughput with the option, you can add another person with 1 machine.
No, I understand that. I understand that. What I'm trying to wrap my head around is Yeah, this would be where we'd have to do some serious math, because you'll definitely got to do the second option, experiment. But if the only way for us to continue to get more than 7 parts in an hour is just to continually add labor, because I'm just curious. So let's see, 4.5 minutes to wrap, right? So
Yep.
if you're just wrapping, you can do 5 minutes. So you can
14
do
parts
14
14 parts per hour.
No, right? If it's 5 minutes, let's just say
5
5 minutes.
minutes.
Five goes into 60. How many times is that, right?
Yes.
Is that 14 parts?
12. 12 parts.
Yeah. So you're doubling the labor cost to do 60% more volume. You see where I'm going? See where I'm talking about? I'm looking at it both ways.
Right. So independent how many
It's,
parts too.
well, yeah, but it just goes back to like the cutting, like the tourist.
Okay.
You know, you can add 2 people and you get basically double the production.
Mhm.
You add a third, you're only gaining another 30%, but you're paying you're not adding another 100% improvement. You're only adding 30%, and you're adding another body of labor, but you're only getting it at 30% efficiency. That's why there's always a sweet spot.
Yep, to do it. That's true. Yeah.
So that's why I was just trying to go through this process with my brain. So right on. I like it. When
Okay.
can we meet?
Wednesday.
Perfect. Set it up.
Awesome. Do that.
All right. Sorry I was late, bro.
You're fine. Yeah.
Actually, I wasn't late. I just completely forgot.
Yeah. It's okay.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye.